So now it's time to make the tabs for this thing. So to do this, I went ahead and got, this is some 3/16, just normal steel that you're able to get at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever. And basically I've measured everything, done some trigonometry. Thanks, birds. Done some trigonometry. Basically our lower tabs are gonna have to be 4 inches long, and the upper tabs are gonna have to be 5.5 inches long. Okay, so a ton of time has passed. Basically the angle grinder was really hard to use and get consistent looking notches. So what I ended up doing is I've got like a hole saw kit here from Harbor Freight and some drill bits, and I drilled a 1/4 inch hole in the middle and used it as a pilot hole and just kind of went back and forth on each side, kind of like a perforation almost. And then I'm just gonna kind of hit it with a hammer and try and get these to break off the centerpiece. So I've got 2 that have a 1 1/4 inch round on the bottom and 2 with a 1 inch round on the bottom. The rounds aren't perfectly centered. This one I probably need to touch up a little bit more. So I did come in after with my little Harbor Freight Dremel here and cleaned up these little rounds. I'm gonna come back to this one actually right now that I'm looking at it, but yeah. Okay, so it is now 10 p.m. on the second day of me working on this. But all of these tabs are now correctly notched and installed with their holes. So honestly, the notches aren't perfect, and you can probably tell that from looking. I think part of it is just if I push into it, that helps it a lot. All in all, I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out. So at this point, what's next is I'm gonna tack all of these in with my new welder, my little flux core welder there. We're gonna tack these in. I'm gonna practice a little bit on some scrap metal first, tack them in, and then we're gonna try and get these welded up. Okay, so this is the end result. 2 of these welds I'm not super happy with. I feel like that one could be better. That one could be better. But other than that, the rest of these I think honestly came out all right. I mean, I was able to pick up the entire car from each of the tabs, so I feel like it's more than enough. What we're gonna do now is set up the bladder in the tank. Okay, so I'm sure a lot of you already know, but basically with micros, this is a 16-gallon like entire shell here. You don't need 16 gallons to ever run a race, and so because of weight distribution, basically if the fuel was just kind of thrown in here, it would kind of slosh around a lot, and front to back, there's a bigger distribution of fuel front to back, which as the fuel load burns off, that's changing the car's polar mass moment of inertia by more than you have to. So what people started doing is basically there's this foam plug. This goes in the back of the shell, and then this bladder you can see is really short compared to the shell. It's designed to only fill up 8 gallons, and it's the front 8 gallons. So you keep the fuel closer to the center of the car, which keeps it keeps the balance of the car more neutral from a dynamic perspective as you're racing. So what we're gonna do now is put that foam plug in the back of the tank, and then I'm gonna get the bladder in here. Okay, next is this bulkhead fitting. So this is what gets, this is basically the fitting that separates the outside from the inside of the bladder. You can see the other end of that bulkhead right there is now inside the bladder. Take this washer, and then this, I guess this is like a silicone washer, and then this this nut on top. So, okay, basically, I didn't read the instructions. It says to wash the bladder out with soap and water before using it. I've already put it in. So I'm just gonna leave it in the tail tank, and I'm just gonna wash it out with soap and water, and then I'm just gonna leave it in the garage. It's so hot in Texas, it'll all evaporate and dry out. So. Okay, next day. So tanks have been sitting. Obviously it's really hot. So all the water's evaporated out of here now. And so next we're gonna put the top plate on. So the bladder actually comes with these studs that are, you know, quarter fine stud. And this helps a lot because what you're able to do is start the studs into the bladder, and then you're able to line up the gasket and the top plate on top of the studs and put some bolts in there. Actually, before I do this, I need to torque down the bulkhead. I just spent 10 minutes getting all of this on, only to just now realize I forgot to connect the pickup hose to the bulkhead. So it has to all come off, and I gotta do it all again. All right, I've been at this for like 45 minutes now. The threads on this bladder, so it's like a rubber material, and then there's little metal inserts with it's like nut certs that are inside the bladder so that you can screw into it with these bolts. They're like not threaded right. I've done everything. I take the studs, and the studs will only thread into like 2 of these 12 holes or whatever it is. So what I'm gonna do right now is I have a 1/4x28 thread tap, and I'm gonna go through every single thread. I think there's just gunk in the threads, and it just isn't working. And so that's what I'm gonna do now, and hopefully that'll fix it. Okay, yes, I'm very sweaty. It's currently 107 here. So I just got done. Most of those threads were not even close. They were literally like 2 of them that were correct, and the rest of them, it's like they hadn't even been threaded or tapped. So yeah, I got all the bolts in there now. Now we're gonna try again, and hopefully this should go way easier than I did the last time. Okay, so this is the cover plate. This is what covers this, obviously. So just a warning, it did not come with the hardware. Also, you notice the sticker does not look that good. But these are number 10 fine threads. So I went to Home Depot and I just picked up some number 10 fine machine screws, and we're gonna install this. Okay, epic fail. I forgot to turn the time lapse on, but I got all these in. I realized I forgot to buy washers. So eventually I need to buy washers and put this back, or just put them underneath all these screws here. But now it's time to get into the car, and that's it. Okay, gang. So yeah, the tank's now in. It's mounted in. The only other thing is I need 2 block offs. It comes with 3 of these 6AN block offs for the returns on the tank. We're only gonna need 1 because we're running EFI. So I need to buy 2 block off 6AN fittings and the 6AN male-to-male adapter so I can plug the fuel pressure regulator in. And then I'm gonna have to redo the fuel plumbing to the engine. So this next video, I'm trying to hurry here. Next Saturday, so today is August 25th, Friday. Next Saturday, RPM Speedway in Crandall, Texas, which is a little over an hour from me, is running stock non-wing micros off of the now 600 rule. So I'm hoping we can have this car ready in time. Basically what's left is all of the fuel the engine has to get put back in, and then all of the fuel and the coolant stuff has to be plumbed to the engine. We need to get the wiring finished, which I never finished. So that's hooking up the starter, the fuel pump, and rewiring all the chassis harness and the engine harness to the engine. And then after that, we should just put the axles in it, go take it to good dyno, and we should be ready. So I'm hoping we can have all of this done in a week. It's pretty tight, but I'm hoping we can get there. So, I mean, I'm gonna upload this video and immediately start working on getting the motor back in the car, and hopefully you'll see another video here soon with an update on that. So thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.